Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the We Were Athletes Once podcast. My name is Kyle. I am joined by Koty,
What's up, everybody?
and we have a lot to talk about. Um, and before we get into it, I want to ask anyone watching at home. Uh, I know I this is my first episode with my new setup. I would like to know if people at home think this is better or worse. Also, I have been having some issues with my mic, so if it sounds weird on your guys' part, sorry. I'm gonna fix that as soon as I can. But let me know how this looks, because I see a little bit of a difference. Koty seems to see a lot of a difference.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't feel like you look fuzzy anymore. I also have my setup going again as well this week, so hopefully
yeah.
it's
So
working. It's not yellow, so that's a positive.
yeah, so let us know in the comments what you guys think of it. We're gonna keep tinkering with it, and hopefully we'll get it figured out soon. But yeah, Koty, a lot has happened. I don't think we've had a baseball episode in about 2 weeks, and we have I don't even know how many transactions to talk about. So much so that we're not even going to be able to get to a lot of transactions. I'm sorry to all of you Rob Ref Snyder fans out there. Uh,
There's
now,
your shout
Koty, what
out.
have you? Yeah. Koty, what have you thought so far of this MLB offseason and just of the trades or of the trades and
Um,
signings that we're going to talk about in general?
I don't know. It's been pretty slow. Um, I mean, I guess it usually always is pretty slow. Um, I'm just waiting to see some of those big names drop. I feel like if one more big name drops, we might finally see that avalanche of players follow. I thought maybe when Pete Alonso went, we might see a couple more big guys go. Or I thought right off the bat when Dylan Cease got signed that maybe there would be a run on starting pitchers. Um, but it hasn't been the case, and I don't know if it is because of all the trade targets that are out there, that they're kind of weighing their options of whether is it worth it to pay a longer term with higher AAV, or is it worth giving up prospects? Um, so I don't know. I don't know. It's been very slow, but there's been lots of big names out there, and there's still lots of big names out there. So it's been a very weird one.
You also mainly think it's been slow because the Cardinals still have players to trade,
That's not true.
and they still
That's
had
not
players to
true.
trade at Thanksgiving.
No, I'm looking at the big names that are still out there. Like, why has Bo Bichette and Alex Bregman, and Framber and Zach Gallen, and the list keeps going on and on Ranger Suarez? Like, why are these guys not signed yet? There are too many teams that need starting pitching and elite bats that should be all over this. It just doesn't make sense to me. And yes, I do want Brendan Donovan to get traded, but or not, I don't know. But I just think there's too many big names that should be moved at this point that are really good baseball players. And I don't know if it's on the players or their agents or on the teams. I don't know where it all falls. Um, but it had like there's been lots of moves, but they haven't been a lot of big moves.
Yeah, I do think a lot of it is coming from the fact that I feel like the trade market has been better than the free agent market for the most part.
I
Like
think it has.
the free agent market is very top heavy. And so if you want a mid tier player, they're going to come in trades. Like we talked a lot about the middle infield market, about how it's Bo Bichette, and outside of that, it's not great. So a lot of people, if you need a middle infielder, are waiting to see what happens with Ketel Marte or Brendan Donovan before they go to Bo Bichette.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can look at it, and I'll start us off with the first player we can talk about here, because if you look at that middle infield market, that probably the top one out there was Hassan Kim, who re-signed with the Braves, and it was 1 year, 20 million. Like, he's not worth that money, but it's a 1 year deal, and as we always say, there's no bad 1 year deal. And they needed a shortstop, so they're like, hey, we're not We're not paying these ridiculous prices to go out and get somebody when we can just bring back somebody who's been solid and it's only on a 1 year deal.
Yeah, I think this is a really good move for the Braves. I did kind of think that they may have tried something with Bo Bichette, but I think his market is going to be so inflated by the lack of middle infield that it's better to go with a guy who is a certified like top tier defender at
Mhm.
shortstop and maybe sacrifice something with the bat. Because at the end of the day, this lineup for the Braves is really good. Like it,
As long as they're
there's
healthy.
yeah, there's been a lot of injuries on the pitching side and on the hitting side with the Braves, but this is a lineup that can still hit. And they've just had this gaping hole at shortstop that, you know, Hassan Kim's not going to fix with his bat, but you're adding a gold glove shortstop.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100%
Um,
agree. Bo Bichette has to be that guy that you go get because one, he's the best shortstop out there. He's the best bat out there for them. And he's also like the youngest free agent out there at only 28. So it makes it a little more palatable to give him a 7 or 8 year deal than one of these guys like Bregman, who's already 30. So, I'd rather have an 8 year deal with Bichette, who at the end of it is 36, as opposed to Bregman, who's 38, pushing 39.
yeah, it's there's definitely ups and downs to it, but yeah, I like the move for the Braves. I do think it was the money was a little inflated, but again, with with where the market is right now, you'll have that.
Well, because
And
who's next on the market at shortstop after him?
I don't even know. I
Exactly.
think
You
it's
have no
minor
idea
league
because it's
guys.
nobody good. Like, is Willie Castro a shortstop? Can you like that's where you're starting to look is guys in maybe that range. And that's like the next high end of the range is Willie Castro, if you think he can play shortstop.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, going through this, we are going to obviously we went kind of a little bit out of order with Hassan Kim, but I do think that was a really good segue into it. We're kind of going to try to keep going in order uh, for everyone watching at home, but there might be a few that we jump around with. Uh, so I want to talk about before we talk about players changing teams. I want to talk about a guy that's staying where he was. Michael Garcia, who has kind of been a really underrated player throughout the
Very.
past few years with the Royals. Came up as a middle infielder, found a home at third base. He won a Gold Glove this year, I believe. Right? Was it a Gold Glove or a Silver Slugger?
I think it was a gold glove.
I think he won. I think he won the Gold Glove at third base. He ended up signing an extension with the Royals. It was a 5 year deal for $57.5 million. There's also $27.5 million worth of incentives in that deal, and there's an option for a sixth year. So the 5 years could be worth up to 85 mil, which good for Michael Garcia. Um, and he also, again, has a sixth year option. Um, Michael Garcia is not really a player that people tend to talk about a whole lot. He won a Gold Glove this year, yeah.
Yeah.
And while winning that Gold Glove, he also had a 286, 351, 449 slash line, 800 OPS, 123 OPS plus, and he played second, short, third, center, and right field, and ended up getting MVP votes. Um, I think, like I said, he's going to stick at third most likely.
Yes.
And now you have that left side of the infield locked up for a long time with Bobby Witt Jr. and Michael Garcia.
Yeah. I love this. As the resident and lived in Kansas City, so rooted for the Royals for a long time person. Um, this is something they desperately needed. They need a couple of pieces around Bobby Witt Jr. Um, he is he carries that offense and that defense. He's phenomenal. But if you can get some protection around him, if you can get some guys that get on base to let him drive them in, and get somebody behind him to protect him, which up to this point has been Salvi, which is fine, but he's not going to be there much longer. He's getting old. He's pushing 40. Um, it's going to be something that this Royals team is going to be dangerous, because I think they have the pitching and they've made some moves in that bullpen that I really like. And they went out there and they've made some trades on top of signing Michael Garcia. And he's been an unsung hero in Kansas City, and he's super underrated because he does play in KC. This is a very, very good baseball player, both at the plate and obviously won the Gold Glove this year. So it was a great signing, great value for him. It's something that they really, really needed to do.
Yeah, and I also think a lot of that undervaluing comes from the fact that he wasn't really a great hitter up until this year. Uh, for average per 162 uh, was a 251, 301, 344 slash line. It's a 645 OPS and 80 home or 80 OPS plus. For every 162 games, he averaged 5 home runs. This year, he hit 16.
Yeah.
So
Well, and here's the
he,
thing. Here's the thing with him. At 16, when he got signed by basically nobody, he was 126 pounds. Like this was a late bloomer and somebody who didn't grow until late. He didn't put on muscle until late. So he's finally starting to come into his own and figure out what he is. And his body's finally caught up with his skill that he had. So this doesn't shock me that it's taken him a little bit of time based on where he came from.
yeah, and he's still only 25 years old. He's now signed through age 30. So good for him. Like I've always been a fan of Michael Garcia, and I'm excited to see him be a part of that core of a Royals team that I think has obviously they still have some work to do, but they have solid potential to be a really good team for the next few years. Um, from there, we can move on to uh, one of the guys that we talked about a lot at the very beginning of this podcast, uh, Tyler Rogers. I'm talking about the first episode, back all the way back in our trade deadline episode.
Our first short that blew up.
Yeah. So Tyler Rogers signed with the Toronto Blue Jays, 3-year deal for $37 million, and $11 to $12 million, maybe a little bit more. That's what the going rate has generally been for relievers, uh, at least this offseason. And if you look at what Tyler Rogers did last year, he was really good. I mean, he was a reliever that had 2.4 WAR. Uh, Ended up pitching 77 and a third innings with a 1.98 ERA. He doesn't throw hard. He throws about 80 miles an hour, submarine. So he only ended up
Like
striking out 48 guys. You said what?
but he throws like a crazy person.
Yeah.
It's
He only ended up.
watching.
Yeah, he only ended up striking out 48 guys in those 77 innings, but he's a really good ground ball pitcher. Even throughout his whole career, ERA under 3. Uh, I mean, the Blue Jays have been one of the best teams in the American League. Uh, Obviously, we're the 1 seed going to the playoffs last year, made it all the way to the World Series, almost won. And we've been talking about how the Blue Jays need to use this World Series push as a reason to step on the gas pedal, and they've been doing that.
Yeah, they had a weakness in the bullpen, so I like that they went out and addressed it. Um, maybe not my favorite guy here because I do think they need kind of that shutdown closer. Um, but it's something that shortens the game. Um, I'm just waiting for them to make their big splash at this point. Is it Bo Bichette? Is it Kyle Tucker? Is it Alex Bregman? Is it a combo? This is nice. This isn't what Blue Jays fans are waiting for. But but I do think this shortens the game for them, which is something that'll be good. But I do think they need that more elite closer.
Yeah, I
I
think
also
Bo
don't
Bichette.
like the prices of relievers right now. I think they're insane.
Yeah, 2 for 22 has just kind of been the going rate. I think there's been 3 or 4 different pitchers
That got
uh,
14 plus,
that
which I
got
don't like.
exactly 2 for 22.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like those contracts either. I like this one more than those.
Yeah. I think the Blue Jays' next move has to, or one of their next moves has to involve bringing back Bo Bichette because Will Wagner and Andres Jimenez is what ESPN at least is listing as their middle infield. They're listing Andres Jimenez and Bo Bichette as their middle infield. But
Where do
he
they have
obviously,
Ernie Clement?
they have Ernie Clement as their third baseman.
Okay, that's fine.
So I think Bo Bichette has to come back. I also think they do need to improve their outfield because I think they just need an upgrade in left over Joey Loperfido. But yeah, looking at this bullpen, they signed Jeff Hoffman to be their closer. Obviously, he had a very rough moment in the postseason.
Yeah,
I think that's where they're going to land is with Jeff Hoffman as their closer.
probably.
Um, I
They've got
do.
so much money they're about to spend. I don't know how, unless they're packaging some things up. Also, did Lofer Fido even play in the playoffs? Like he wasn't starting for them. It was
I think he was on the
Barshow
roster at
and
least,
Barger and
and Springer and Santander going back and
Springer
forth
and
between
Santander. Yeah, so Lofer Fido
outfield
is
and
like
DH.
a fifth guy. Like he's
Yeah,
whatever.
right now they have Loperfido, Varsho, and Springer in the outfield with Santander as their DH, and they have like Jonathan Clase
Where
and
was Barger?
Will Wagner. Barger they have as a backup
No,
third baseman.
no, that's not happening.
Still, I think they need an upgrade there.
Well,
I
they're gonna
would
lose
also
Tucker, so
say they probably do need depth in that bullpen more than they need a dominant closer because I mean the other guys in their bullpen, Brendan Little's pretty good, but Yimi Garcia, Chad Green, Eric Swanson, Nick Sandlin, they're good, but I think adding another bullpen piece could help them.
it's gonna have to be a trade because I don't see a lot of big helpful relievers out in the market still.
Probably. And again, they could be I think they could be done and they could
I think they are.
still end up making another deep playoff run. I mean
I
they
I agree. I don't. I think they're done with pitching. Um,
oh yeah, they can't be like done.
no, they're
But
done with
they
pitching. Well, because that even they've got like 6 or 7 starters right now. Like they can definitely throw one of those in the bullpen. Um, and shoot, it might be Cody Ponce. Like I don't. Actually, they're probably going to have to trade Braxton Berrios. Jose Braxton Berrios is a wide receiver. Jose Berrios. Whoo, it's late here.
Cody's also watching football as we speak.
I am. There was just a pick six. The Indy season is over. But I think they're going to trade Berrios so that Cody Ponce gets that 5th spot, and maybe that's where you can pull a reliever from as part of that, maybe with some other prospects. But I think that could be where the bullpen help comes from.
Yeah, or even if they want to stick Cody Ponce in the bullpen, they can. Or Jose Barrios, honestly. But I don't like that. I think
they're going to
the best option is trading Jose Barrios and maybe getting some cap relief with that, or some salary relief with that.
I think
because
that's
they're
the
not
big thing.
cap yet.
Take a cheap pitcher reliever that's going to be helpful to you, and then a couple prospects, like low end prospects, and just accept the cap help and use it for Tucker or whoever.
Moving on. The Rangers made a couple moves, some smaller moves, but might be bigger in the long run than they may seem right now. They signed Danny Jansen It's a 2-year deal for $14.5 million, a deal that also
Like it.
includes $1 million in incentives. And they're taking a flyer on Alexis Diaz, who had a really bad year last year with the Dodgers, signing a 1-year deal for $1 million. Another kind of incentive deal, getting $500,000 in incentives.
I like them both. Um, Alexis Diaz is whatever for me. Like, you got him on such a cheap deal that if he bounces back, great. You've got yourself a guy. If you're not good and he bounces back, you've got yourself a trade chip. I like what you gave Danny Jansen because I think he's going to at least compete and take a lot of days at catcher. But he might be able to win that catcher job. I think there's a very real world which he takes over.
Well, I believe Jonah Heim got non-tendered,
He
didn't
got
he?
non-tendered.
So it's Danny Jansen or Kyle Higashioka.
Yeah, and that's
So
kind of why I think he should take it.
I
But
think if you're giving him $15 million, you're doing that to be like a cheaper starting option.
yeah,
And
that's what I
then,
think.
but I still don't necessarily know if I'm a huge Danny Jansen fan. I think him getting like actual playing time will probably help that. I know he was great with the Blue Jays back when he was there, and kind of just got buried with how many good catchers
All
the
of
Blue
them.
Jays had.
Kirk, Moreno, and him.
Yeah. But I think this is a really good spot for him. I do think the Rangers are still trying to compete, and so adding a veteran catcher who
Can hit
still can hit, still can play defense, can't really do anything like
well.
amazingly well, but he
He's
can.
just kind of good at everything.
Yeah, he's a jack of all trades, master of none. I think that's a really good move for them. And I'm a little bit higher on the Alexis Diaz move than you are because Alexis Diaz was an all-star at one point.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is that with the Reds?
obviously, yeah. Obviously, whenever it comes to relievers, they're very up and down. He was an all-star back in 2023, and he actually played for 3 teams in 2025 because he was with the Reds, the Dodgers, and the Braves, and he was bad with all of them. Only pitched 17 innings though. But yeah, they're so volatile nowadays, relievers. But whenever you get a guy that has proven to be a really good back end of the bullpen type, like closing pitcher, uh, who was an all star, who you know a bad Reds team at the time could really rely on, and you're getting that guy for $1 million, at most $1.5 million. I think that's a really good move for a team that's trying to compete but also stay pretty cheap.
Yeah. I mean, I have no issue with it. I just if he bounces back, but like you said, relievers are so
Yeah.
volatile. You never know what you're gonna get.
And if he's not,
It's $1
giving
million.
him $1 million. Yeah. Let's talk about a signing that you do really like because we've talked about it off camera at
Ooh,
nauseum.
I don't know
Uh,
where we're going.
we're going to our team.
Oh,
Uh,
let's go.
yeah, we got to talk about Dustin May.
All
So
right.
Koty has been begging for this since the trade deadline. I have been wanting to see it happen in free agency.
I wanted it
Uh,
since he was in LA.
I didn't want to give up what we were going to have to give up for him. With the Red Sox gave up James Tibbs and other pieces for him.
We did not. We gave him
Yeah, we
twelve
did
and a
not.
half million dollars.
Yeah, Dustin May signs with the St. Louis Cardinals, a 1-year deal for $12.5 million, and there's a mutual option in 2027 for $20 million.
This is a 1 year deal. Let's just start
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
If he plays well enough that the Cardinals want to pick up the $20 million option, he will not. If he doesn't play good enough that he is willing to accept it, the Cardinals are not going to want to pay him $20 million with where this team is at right now. They would probably rather release him and go try somebody else. But I love this move because this is the opposite of everything John Mozeliak stands for. He wants high floor, low ceiling. He wants guys that are going to pitch innings no matter how horrific they are, i.e., Miles Michaelis, Eric Fetty, Andre Palante. I know you like Palante more than I do. I think he's done as a starter in St. Louis, at least. But this is a guy who is a high prospect, former prospect, who has filthy stuff, and has huge upside. Like, so I see this as a 1 year flyer. If he figures it out, awesome. It's going to be fun. And everyone, and I know you're a numbers guy, so you're going to go look at his numbers and you're going to say, this is what it was. Dude about died eating a salad. This is why you don't eat salad. He like
I did eat a
inhaled
salad today.
inhaled a leaf and it went down wrong or something, and he had to have emergency surgery and almost died and lost a buttload of weight. So his velo was down, and so his fastball down, his sinkers down, and because of that, he got hit off of because his stuff didn't play like it used to. He's already put on like 20 pounds again, so he's getting closer to where he was. He lost like 40 pounds. So he's getting back closer to where he was. He says he's healthy. He says he feels good, because there's also questions about right arm numbness. And he said if they would have advanced in the playoffs, he would have pitched. So I think he's going to be okay. But I love seeing this type of move where it is a potential boom or bust. Like, I would rather see you just go for it than play it safe and just be awful for sure. And that's what Heim did here.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about the Cardinals a lot throughout this episode because they made more moves and they have more moves to come. But a big thing that I like about the Cardinals, and we talked about this a little bit off camera before we started too. A big thing that I like about the Cardinals this year compared to last year, we kind of have the same problem, but better solutions. Is that we have more pitchers than there are innings to pitch right now because they're all kind of on the same level. But
they're all like
the issue that yeah, the issue that we had last year is that it was Sonny Gray, Miles Michaelis, Eric Fetty, all guys in their mid to late 30s. Well, I'm referring to the fact that
not just terrible.
We had a logjam of pitchers who were old and didn't necessarily need another shot. And Sonny Gray was our ace last year, and I still love Sonny Gray, but he had an ERA of 4.5. This year, this year our logjam consists of 25-year-old Matthew Liberatore, 26-year-old Richard Fitz, 26-year-old Hunter Dobbins, who we're going to talk about later, 25-year-old Michael McGreevy, or whatever he is. 28-year-old Dustin May is the oldest pitcher in our rotation right now. And that's not including Andre. I don't think I said Andre Palante.
Palante is like 25, 26.
Yeah. Andre Palante is going to be in the bullpen. Kyle Leahy, who there's so much talk about him being a starter, is probably going to be in the bullpen. Yeah, I think he's a little bit. I think they're both in their late 20s, but still, we haven't talked about a pitcher over the age of 30 yet. And there's a lot of options. Not even mentioning the fact that we're probably going to see Quinn Matthews this year. We might see Tekoa Roby this year. We might see Liam Doyle this year, depending on how quickly
I hope not
he advances. I think he's probably more 2027, but it's about time to call some of these pitchers up that have been sitting in our minor league system.
Yeah, too. I mean, if you look at guys like even like Semmer Bursa, Tink Hence, Cooper Jerpy, like these are guys that have been there for a while, that this year's kind of like that last chance to prove like, hey, I did it in AAA. It's time to give me a look at the bigs now. And that's going to be tough because, like you just mentioned, there's like 7 or 8 guys that are kind of wanting to get a chance, not including those guys I just listed. So, and not even including, Bryson Motts or,
they didn't even mention Bryson Motts. We're probably going to see him.
Like there's so Ishan,
Henderson.
Oh my God. Yeah. Henderson. Gosh. Like those guys are all 23, 24 years old, and they're getting to that end point of, if we got to put you on the 40 man, you got to prove that you're going to do something for us. Otherwise, you're going to be trade pieces.
Yeah, but through all that logjam, Dustin May is still an electric arm. It's kind of like what you say all the time: all tools, no toolbox. We'll see if he can get himself a toolbox with his $12.5 million that he just got. And if he can, it's probably going to lead to a bigger payday. And I honestly don't see a world where Dustin May is a Cardinal come August.
Nope.
But if he is, and he wants to sign here long term, or they want to team up and take on that $20 million mutual option. If he has a 3.5, 4 ERA, maybe even under that, cool. Because this is a team that's going to win.
He's not signing the $20 million contract.
Yeah. Maybe he just loves in St. Louis,
Gosh, let's hope so. He's also wearing a number different for the first time in his MLB career. And I also hate how he got to that number. It makes me mad.
85-3 is a interesting number.
How did he get to that number?
I didn't even hear the
8 minus 5 is 3. That's the dumbest thing ever. That's like watching Kyle try and buy shoes.
And also, if anyone is wondering why Dustin May had to change his number from 85, the Cardinals have retired number 85 because of Augie Busch, who I believe bought the team. Former owner who I believe sold the team in 1985, and that was why it was retired as 85.
I know I'm old and you like to call me on that, but I was not alive.
You call yourself on that.
I was not alive in 85, so.
Okay, good to know. All right, you said you had a lot to say about this trade leading up to it. So,
let's go.
Isaac Collins. Yeah, Isaac Collins was, I believe, third in the Rookie of the Year voting this year for the Brewers. Looked like he was going to be a pretty solid option for them in center field, and they decided to trade him to the Kansas City Royals. They traded him along with Nick Mears, who I believe was a righty reliever for them, for Angel Zerpa, who is a left-hand pitcher with an electric arm that was out of the Royals bullpen last year. And Koty, I didn't see this, but Koty said that they were going to try him out as a starter.
Don't like it.
You said you had a lot to say about this trade.
So first thing, Angel Zerpa, former Royal, now with the Brewers, lefty, like you said, electric arm. He's got everything you could want out of a lefty reliever. He's nasty. Again, this is a guy that most people haven't heard of because he's pitching in the AL Central in Kansas City. But he's been very good. It's been fun to watch. And them first things I heard was they would be interested in moving him to be a starter. I hate everything about that. I am not a fan of taking these big-armed relievers and turning them into starting pitchers. I don't think it works well. We've seen very few examples of it going well and a lot of examples of it going poorly. So I don't like this. Now, if you keep him in the bullpen, I'm good with that. My problem with this, actually, I have no problems with this because like I said, root for the Royals and I root for the Cardinals, which means I don't root for the Brewers. And I think this was a stupid trade for the Brewers. I know you have a lot of depth in the outfield, right? We've got like 5, 6 guys that can legitimately be in your outfield right now. So moving one of them makes sense. I don't like what you moved it for. And I don't like that you added to it. I thought Isaac Collins on his own could get you more than Angel Zerpa. But you gave up Nick Mears and Isaac Collins just to get him. I love this from the Royals' perspective. They needed more bats in the outfield, and you just got the guy finished 4th in Rookie of the Year voting. I believe he's a righty, if I'm not wrong.
He is this will go up. He's a righty, yeah. Or he's switch hitter.
Switch hitter, even better. Even better. So you've got a switch hitter who he's not going to provide you a lot of pop. He's going to provide you decent defense. He can play center field. He hits from both sides of the plate, and he just finished fourth as a rookie. So he's on a cheap contract. I don't know what the Brewers are thinking with this trade. Um, the Royals went and got themselves one outfield bat. I think they need one more, and I'm still waiting for a deal around Chris Bubich for um, Duran with Boston. I think it's going to happen still. Um, I know Boston got more pitching, but I think they want one more high end guy, and I think Chris Bubich was good enough last year that they would think he's probably would put them ahead of Sonny Gray in that rotation. So I love this for Kansas City. I love everything about this. You get a young, cost controlled, switch hitting outfielder that can play all three outfield spots, who just came off an excellent season, along with another relief pitcher from the right side, and you give up a lefty reliever. And I'm definitely good with it because they made one other trade, which I'm going to squeeze in right here. And they gave up Bowen. Bolin.
Jonathan Bolin.
I don't know anything about Jonathan Bolin. I'm not going to lie. Don't know anything about him. And I know the Royals farm system decently well. But they got back Matt Strahm, who, one, has pitched in Kansas City before, and two, has been an awesome lefty reliever for the Phillies. I don't know how that makes sense for the Phillies unless they're just trying to cut some payroll, because Matt Strahm has been excellent. And Kansas City got their Zerpa replacement in Matt Strahm on top of getting a bat and another righty out of the bullpen. Kansas City has been doing small but very important moves for this team, and I think they're going to win the AL Central next year.
Yeah, I mean I love these trades too. It sucks to see again a guy as electric as Angel Zerpa getting traded, but again, you're giving up Isaac Collins played mostly left field with the Brewers, but he can play center field. He's a fine defender. Uh, could obviously develop into something better. Only 27 years old and has 779 OPS last year. The one thing that I don't like about him getting traded to Kansas City is the fact that he's going to hit virtually no home runs. He hit 9 last year, and he's going to a bigger outfield. Yeah, he's going to
How many
another huge
stolen
ballpark.
bases did he have last year? That's something I didn't look at.
He had 16 with 7 caught stealing.
Okay, so he's got decent speed.
Yeah, I mean
which tells me if you hit one in the gap, you have triple opportunity every single time in Kansas City.
Yeah, he's a fine outfielder. He's a fine hitter. He obviously can develop into something a lot better. But yeah, he came in fourth in, I'll admit, a very weak NL Rookie of the Year class. But still came in fourth in the Rookie of the Year. Had a OPS 18% above league average. He was really good. And I don't think this should necessarily be viewed as, the Royals are done in the outfield because they got Lane Thomas and Isaac Collins. And I do think Jarren Duran, in some way, shape, or form, is going to end up as a Royal, but we'll see with that. And then as for the other trade, I love that trade a lot more for the Royals than I do this trade. Because Jonathan Bolin, I was so confused when you sent me that trade because Jonathan Bolin has a career 4 ERA. I think above that. He doesn't necessarily throw super hard, doesn't have anything nasty. He's a middle of the bullpen type of pitcher, like a middle reliever.
And he's 29.
And not particularly good at it. Yeah, he's getting older for a guy that just started his big league career, and has been worth exactly 0 WAR throughout his career. So trading Matt Strahm for this guy, I don't know how much Matt Strom is getting paid, but it has to be for salary.
Seven and a half, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it has to be just penny pinching at this point, and they're trading for a guy who's making league minimum. So yeah, I like what the Royals are doing. Are they going to win the AL Central next year? I don't know.
Yes.
I think the Tigers are very good still. I think the Guardians are still the Guardians.
Royals are going to win it. It's my bold prediction, especially if they get Jared Duran.
Yeah. So spoiler alert for once the season is starting to get underway, whenever we're doing bold predictions and predictions for the 2026 season.
Yeah,
Cody thinks the Royals are going to win
look,
the AL Central.
look, you've got the Royals rotation. If you take Chris Bubich out of it, you still have Cole Reagans as your number one. You still have Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha, who pitched very, very well in Kansas City. You have Noah Cameron, who just came off an awesome rookie year. You still have Ryan Bergert and Stephen Kolek, who both were good and are coming up. Like, you've got 6 legit guys, and that doesn't even include some of the others that came up. And you have addressed your bullpen in a lot of ways. Between Matt Strom, you went out and got Alex Lang. Like, you've made some moves along with Nick Mears. Like, you've made some moves to shore up this bullpen, even though you got rid of Zerpa, and you have already put a couple of bats into your outfield, which was your biggest, weakest link. And I think you're still going to put one more in there.
Yeah, I think the Royals are definitely going to be fighting for a playoff spot. I just think the Central might be a little too bold, but it could happen.
I don't know what Detroit's going to be. They haven't done anything.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know
bats.
if people thought the Tigers were going to be as good as they were this year too. And I guess granted they did end up falling apart in September, but
yeah, if Casey Mize doesn't play well again, if Spencer Torkelson doesn't play well again, like, these are guys who've had one good season in their MLB careers. If Flaherty is Jack Flaherty and falls off a cliff randomly, like he likes
I say Jack Flaherty being Jack Flaherty can mean two very different things.
Like falling off a cliff like he typically does. Like, that leaves you with Tarek Skubal, and who's hitting for you?
Riley Green.
Like that, huh?
Riley Green, who led league in strikeouts.
Riley Green. That's it. This team has so many more holes than Kansas City does. They have one thing, and it is an elite number one ace, and that is it.
I don't know if the Tigers, I would call them holes. I would call them more question marks.
I call them holes.
And I think the answers are going to be just decided on if these young players can take a step forward. But
I'll give them one other thing. I like Dylan Dingler as well as at catcher. That's about it for me, though. Riley Green, Dylan Dingler, Tarek Skubal. That's what I like.
Let's talk about a few of these moves that we can talk really quickly about. Merrill Kelly is going back to the Diamondbacks. 2-year deal for $40 million. I think this was something that was kind of set in stone since he got traded to Texas.
I'm pretty sure if you go back and watch our trade episode, I said this is dumb what you just gave up for him, because he's going right back to Arizona as soon as the season's over. And they did. And Texas fans are ticked off about it, and I understand why.
Yeah, Merrill Kelly was a leader in this Diamondbacks clubhouse. And I think, again, the Diamondbacks are still going to try and find some sort of way to compete. So bring back a guy who can still pitch really well. I hope they're going to do more to address their pitching.
They're going to sign a first baseman who is a former MVP in Arizona Darling, and then they're going to trade for his partner in crime who finished third in the MVP voting that same year. Welcome Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado to Arizona.
Okay. I'll leave that I'll
Just
leave
wait.
that
We're gonna clip
for.
this, and I'm gonna put it in the episode after it happens.
So you're gonna edit that one?
No, that's definitely not gonna happen. It'll never get done if I have to do it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Some other smaller moves. 1 year deals for both Adolis Garcia and Josh Bell, which I believe happened at the same time. I'm more interested in Adolis Garcia because the
Same.
Phillies needed to upgrade their outfield, but they needed a center fielder, and Adolis Garcia is not that.
They needed to bring Harrison Bader back.
Are they gonna roll with Brandon Marsh in center field again?
I don't know what the Phillies are doing. They've like randomly started penny pinching, which is why this is going to sound crazy. I don't know if it is. This is one where they don't like Alec Boehm. They just don't. They've been trying to trade him for a couple of years, it seems like, at this point. This is one where I wonder, because they've randomly started penny pinching, if they could make a swap with St. Louis for Nolan Arenado to play third, because at least he's going to be a good defender, and then they can also get rid of Castellanos' contract, because that's another 20 something million dollars.
Are you trying to propose that we take on said contract?
If they're willing to take on Nolan Arenado's, because it's one less year for us to take on, and it's a right-handed bat that can hit.
I'm fine
Listen,
with
I
it
don't
if
love it. I don't love it, but if it keeps us from eating a giant
I
chunk of
guess.
Arenado's contract, like it's
I
1 year.
guess.
It's 1 year of Castellanos.
I guess.
Maybe he plays well, you eat some of it and trade him at the deadline, because as much as Philly fans don't like him, the dude is clutch in the playoffs.
Right now, the projected outfield for the Phillies
It's
is
not good.
Adolis Garcia playing right field, Brandon Marsh playing center field, and Brandon Marsh playing left field. So this is from MLB.com's Phillies depth chart. Otto Kemp and Weston Wilson are the other two options in the outfield, with Kyle Schwarber as the DH.
Terrible.
So there's still room to add more outfielders. Obviously.
Do they want to give up? Do they want to give up Andrew Painter? I can offer you one Brendan Donovan. He can go play left for you.
I'm intrigued by that. I don't know if the Phillies
they're not giving up Andrew Painter. That's not happening.
I'm intrigued by that, though.
I bet you are.
Yeah, and that is not including Nick Castellanos, who I think is almost a guarantee to be sent somewhere.
He's a DH if he's there.
No, because Kyle Schwarber is the DH.
That's true.
He has to play outfield.
Listen, he does not have any errors out there. He also gets to nothing. So
shut up.
He doesn't. There's a really weird air stat with Nick Castellanos.
I'm very confused by the Phillies. I hope they start doing something smart soon. We just talked about them trading Matt Strom for Jonathan Bolin.
414 consecutive games without an error for the Phillies.
Let's on that note, let's move on.
Just trying to take Kyle off.
Adrian Hauser signed a 2-year deal for $22 million with the San Francisco Giants. That deal includes a option for 2028, which would also be for $11 million. We said he was going to go to the Bay Area as a ground ball pitcher that pitches in a ballpark that gives up a lot of home runs, and instead he went to a ballpark that gives up hardly any home runs.
You know, I just worry with everything the Giants have said that they're not going to give out big contracts to pitchers, that this is it for them. They need a better, pony up the money, go get Tatsui Imai, and call it a day. But this can't be your pitcher move for the offseason.
Yeah, right now their projected rotation is some sort. It's Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, and Adrian Hauser, and then two of Carson Wisenhunt, Landon Routt, Trevor McDonald, and Carson Seymour.
Yeah, no.
So maybe you expect Carson Wisenhunt to take
One of
a
them.
step forward,
That's
and
fine.
I think it's gonna be Carson Wisenhunt and Landon Routt if there's no other moves.
Please go get a Mai or
And
Ranger Suarez for a year on a prove it
they're gonna
deal, or
sign, and
Zach
they're
Gallen.
what about Max Scherzer? Because that's the other one they're gonna sign.
Go get a better pitcher that's not 43 years old.
I like the move for the Giants. I just need them to do something else.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with Adrian Hauser. Solid pitcher. If he's your
This
number 4, I'm good with that. But you need to go get somebody to join those top 2.
this, by the way, is also the year that the Giants should be looking to take a step forward because the Padres are most likely going to be taking a step back. They have a new
Yes.
They have a new manager in their first year. They're trying to cut payroll. It's to the point to where there's rumors that they're going to trade both Nick Pivetta and Mason Miller.
I've also still seen rumors that they could trade Tatis. I know you say no, but there's still rumors out there.
AJ Preller said no. I don't know if he's telling the truth or
AJ
not, but
Preller is a madman.
when are they going to fire him? You would have thought you would have thought 3 spending sprees that didn't work out would be
who's he
enough
got
to
dirt on? Which of the 17 owners that think they're in control does he have dirt on? All of them?
Probably.
Can they not fire him because no one's in charge there?
Moving on from that, a cool story. Foster Griffin signed with the
Welcome back.
Nationals. 1-year deal for $5.5 million, $1 million in incentives in that deal. This is just cool because Foster Griffin, a former top prospect, but I believe former top 100 prospect, didn't pan out in the big leagues. Ended up being able to go over, I believe, to Japan, some other country. I believe it was Japan though, and earn his way back into a big league pitching rotation. Or I guess he might be in the bullpen.
Who knows?
I don't know, on a big league roster, and maybe he pitches well enough, he gets traded to a contender. Maybe this is the start of a great late blossoming career for Foster Griffin.
Yeah, good for him. He was over in Japan with the Yomiuri Giants, so that's one of the big teams out there. I mean, good for him. $5 million deal, revitalize your career. I think he's like 30, so he's got a few years left in him, hopefully. And any of these guys that are willing to go over to Japan or Korea, and reinvent themselves and come back, I want to root for those guys.
Yeah, same here. The Angels are continuing their dumpster diving. Jordan Romano had a really bad year last year. He's signing with the Angels to hopefully get a rebound. $2 million. They also signed Drew Pomeranz, who returned to the big leagues for the first time in 4 years last year. Signed him for $4 million. It's them. It's Alek Manoah. I think there was a list of 3 or 4 other guys the Angels have already signed that are for
it's a
$1 million,
Angels
$2 million.
move. Just fire ownership, sell the team, fire the GM, start over, fire your scouting department, fire whoever does your draft. Stop trying to draft the person that isn't good but is closest to MLB ready, and actually do this the right way. Otherwise, you're going to be the Cleveland Browns. Shoot, you might already be there. And stop wasting a great player's career.
But the Angels can, unlike the Browns, the Angels can lean on the fact that they won a World Series 20 years ago.
I don't care. I don't.
Brad Keller signed a 2-year deal to be in the Phillies bullpen. It's for $22 million, just like everyone else signed. The Phillies did need bullpen depth, and I do like Brad Keller more as a reliever than I do as a starter. Uh,
I mean, this dude was elite for the Cubs last year. This is one of my more underrated moves out of all the 2-year, $22 million deals. This is my favorite. Um, he was very, very good. And if they didn't have Yohan Duran, he could legitimately be their closer. Like he was that good last year. Um, so as much as I hate them moving Matt Strahm, I really like them getting Brad Keller.
yeah, they have right now that same depth chart that has Brandon Marsh playing left field and Brandon Marsh playing center field. It has Brad Keller basically projected to be their seventh inning guy behind Johan Duran and Orion Kerkering.
I love
Uh,
that's an awesome 7-8-9. That might be I'm gonna go on a limb and say that's the best 7-8-9 in baseball.
yeah, they also have Tanner Banks as a late inning lefty reliever. Uh, I mean, Jonathan Bolin, Taiwan Walker, and Kyle Backus kind of leave a little bit to be desired, but that
For sure.
Taiwan Walker is your long
He's a swing
reliever.
man.
Yeah. And then Jonathan Bolin and Kyle Backus are like break glass in case of emergency relievers.
We're up or down a lot in a game.
Yeah.
You need at least one more.
I don't know if it's even at least. I think maybe one more might help. But
I think you need one more.
yeah.
You've got your three. Like I think of it as like the old 2014 Royals when they won the World Series. Like get them to the fifth or sixth inning
Yeah.
and it's lights out.
And
And I
they
think
and you hand
that's
off
what
to
this.
Luke. It was Luke Hoshaver, Kelvin Herrera, Greg Holland, Wade Davis, sixth,
Yeah,
seventh, eighth, ninth.
yeah. And I think if you get one more, you only need pitchers to go five, and that's probably good with where Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler are right now, with their question
Especially
mark
Zach Wheeler.
of their health. If you can get them out of there after five and know that you've got a 6, 7, 8, 9 locked down, it makes you feel really good about your team. So I like their 7, 8, 9. I think they need one more.
Yeah, I agree. Luke Weaver, 2-year deal for $22 million.
And guess
I
what? Guess where he went? Because he was a New York Yankee, so that means he can only sign in one location, which is
the New York Mets. I'm so glad that the Mets decided to fix the back end of their bullpen by signing the Yankees back into the bullpen, which is
that imploded.
also just as atrocious as the Mets. Um, except they don't have Edwin Diaz. They don't have Ryan Helsley, who is
Was not good for him.
whether he was bad last year or not, still one of the best relievers in all of baseball. They don't have Tyler Rogers, who was their only good pitcher in the back end of that bullpen last year, besides
With
Edwin
Edwin
Diaz.
Diaz.
Uh, Confirmed the Mets are about to trade for David Bednar.
Oh, that would be amazing. Oh, the Mets fans have already lost their minds. I don't know what the Mets are doing. I honestly, like, we could have a whole episode on the Mets, and I don't know what they're doing.
I
Supposedly they were.
love Luke Weaver, by the way. I think
I
Luke Weaver is a great eighth inning pitcher.
This is a
The
guy I was
Mets,
hoping was going to sit there, and everyone was like, "Oh, he wasn't great last year for the Yankees," and was a guy the Cardinals could come swoop in to be kind of that Phil Maton of last year for them. Because I like Luke Weaver. Um, Rough end of last year, but before last year, he was really good for the Yankees for a couple of years. He was closing out games for them and looked elite. So I do like this. I just think it's funny at this point that one, the Mets are metting it up and I don't know what they're doing, and then their whole bullpen is the Yankees sloppy seconds. Like I
their their eighth and ninth inning is former Yankees closer Luke Weaver and former Yankees closer Devin Williams, and in their starting rotation is former Yankees closer Clay Holmes.
just can't. You can't make it up.
Also, this is a gross bullpen. It's Luke Weaver and Devin Williams, which I think is actually a solid
Fine.
eighth, ninth,
That's fine.
as much as we're making fun of
It's
it.
just because they were bad last year.
The rest of their bullpen is, and I want to see your face for this because there's a name.
Hold on. All right, I'm ready.
So Dylan Ross, who?
Yeah.
Dick Lovelady.
Oh yeah, let's go, Dick Lovelady. That's the. Can we get him with Dick Fitz? Can we have
He's
Dick
gonna
Fitz?
he's gonna be a
Dick
Cardinal because
Lovelady?
Heim Bloom is just Heim Bloom is
Listen,
just.
I need. I can't say this. Never mind. I won't. It was going to be about numbers for both of them, and it wasn't going to go well either way. Like, come on, bring Dick Lovelady over. Let him be 69. Mason Wynn, give up 0 so Dick Fitz can be 0, and I would just. You would sell thousands.
I would have said one of them can be 6 and one of them can be 9, but
no,
they're both retired.
Dick Fitz is going to be 0. And then Lovelady is going to be a 69. Like, this is amazing.
But on the real note, outside of Luke Weaver and Devin Williams, it's Dylan Ross, Richard Lovelady, Huascar Brazaban, Brooks Raley, and Joey Gerber.
Brooks Raley was good like 4 years ago.
We're talking about 2026. In the year of our Lord 2026, Brooks Raley is...
It's not good.
Gonna have to rely... Is someone the New York Mets is actually gonna have to rely on for innings.
Here's my problem. Your first baseman is Mark Vientos. Your second baseman is $25 million Marcus Semien. Your shortstop is $30+ million Francisco Lindor, who might get traded because him and Juan Soto hate each other. Brett Beatty's in left field, or is a third base, who was good for them last year.
I want to say
$51 million Juan Soto.
I don't know
who's playing center and left.
So I've started laughing because the same issue is arising that happened to the Phillies with the Mets, except worse. Because left field depth chart, Tyrone Taylor. Center field depth chart, Tyrone Taylor. Right field depth chart, Juan Soto and Tyrone Taylor.
If there was a team that, like, gosh, I don't. And then they're like, oh, Mark Vientos could be had in a trade. Who's playing first base?
Jorge Polanco.
Who? Oh, yeah, I forgot. They signed him for $40 million for 2 years. Holy crap.
DH,
he's never played first base before.
Yeah, their DH depth chart has 4 Tyrone Taylor.
No, they're expecting Carson Bench to come up, who was not good in AAA last year, and start for them.
Their DH depth chart is deeper than their entire outfield depth chart because they have Mark Vientos on there, but they also have Jorge Polanco, Ronnie Mauricio, and Jared Young.
No,
the Mets have to sign either Cody Bellinger or Kyle Tucker,
or Harrison Bader,
or trade for Brendan Donovan,
or figure out someone who actually plays first base. Cody Bellinger.
Mark Vientos. Don't trade him.
Is that doing it? Because that dude can't play first base. I've watched it. Routine balls into his glove don't make it there, and he comes off the base. He is not a good fielder at first base. He's not a good fielder, period. Let's just go with that. He's not good at first base either. The Mets are metting. They've got some good pitching prospects, but honestly, this team should just embrace a rebuild with the way this roster looks.
They might. My hot take, if you say your hot take is the Royals winning the AL Central, my hot take is the Mets might finish 4th in the NL East.
Is that a hot take? Because I'm going to agree with you here.
The Marlins going above the Mets is...
Don't you hate on the Marlins? They looked great at the end of last season.
The Nationals might be ready to take us, especially after they signed Pete Fairbanks, you said.
Yes.
The Nationals might be ready to take a step forward too.
They're trying to trade their shortstop who should not be playing shortstop.
And they're also trying to trade Mackenzie Gore, and I think that's
Which,
going to end once they realize they're not going to get anything for either of them.
listen, after what Shane Baz got, which we'll talk about here,
Yeah, you're right.
Mackenzie Gore should get a crap ton too.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Shane Baz trade later.
If I see that and I'm the Nationals, I'm for sure trading Mackenzie Gore, and that's my starting point.
We have last small move before we have to dive into more stuff. Sean Armstrong, 1-year deal for $5.5 million to possibly be the closer for the Cleveland Guardians.
He will be the closer because their closer is now banned for life, unofficially.
Yeah, can you find someone better and not Sean Armstrong to be the closer?
Could you?
Is Cade Smith going to be the actual closer?
It probably should be Cade Smith. Cade Smith is very good. I like him a lot. I have another proposal for you here. When you trade for Brendan Donovan, also get Jojo Romero, and that would significantly help your bullpen.
Yeah, their bullpen's.
I know you don't like pitching prospects in Cleveland, but
the back end of the Guardians bullpen, I actually don't think is horrible. I mean, they have Matt Festa, Eric Sabrowski, Hunter Gaddis, Cade Smith. They just signed
Cade Smith or Cam Smith,
Cade Smith,
and Sean Armstrong is fine. I like that back end. That's fine.
Eric Sabrowski is pretty good too, and so is Matt Festa.
Is he more of a swingman though?
Who?
Festa.
I don't believe so.
I feel like he started games at a point.
He may have opened.
Okay, maybe.
He may have started. I don't know. I'm not thinking of the right guy though, because Matt Festa is horrible. Negative 0.7 WAR in his big league career.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
He starred one game in his big league career, and that was in 2018.
Never mind then. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also picked up Peyton Pallette, I think it's pronounced, in the Rule 5 draft from the White Sox. So he's going to be there.
He's going to exist. In a Cleveland uniform. Got it.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of these deals that we have to dive into a little bit.
Okay.
First one is going to be one that I think we have to dive into the least, but if anything, it's going to be because of the weird contract. So Sungmin Song, who is one of the best infielders on the market right now from the international market.
Third base.
He signed with the Padres, and the deal was originally reported as a 4-year deal for $15 million. What it actually is a 3-year deal for $10 million with a player option for 2029 for $4 million, a mutual option in 2030 for $7 million, and there is a $1 million buyout if the deal doesn't make it to the 5th year. So it'll either be 3 for 11, 4 for 15, or 5 for 21.
I have questions.
I don't have answers.
Who's playing shortstop in San Diego?
Xander Bogaerts.
Okay. That was going to be my answer, which not a great one, by the way. Where is Sungmin Sung going to play? Is Manny Machado moving from third base?
I think he can play middle infield, can he?
But he doesn't. Are you talking about Sungmin Sung?
Yeah.
I've only ever seen him listed as a third baseman. He's also 29. Okay, I can on his baseball reference it says first, second, or third.
Okay.
So
So
that
Jake
helps. Dude,
Cronenworth will play one, and the other one, Sungmun Song will play. Probably Jake
well,
Cronenworth at first, Sungmun Song at
I was
second.
gonna say, what about Gavin Sheets? Is he gonna get time at first?
He'll get time wherever. He'll get some time at first. He'll get some time in the corner
I mean,
outfield. He'll
for
get some
me,
DH. He's their starting DH right now.
as like my ideal situation is if Manny Machado could move back to short and
He can't.
Sung could go to third, and then
That
Xander
dude
Bogaerts
is
could be your DH because he is not a good fielder.
that dude is 34 years old. He is not going back to shortstop.
No. I just don't know. I don't. The Padres just have some really big contracts that don't make sense to me. Like, they really want to move Jake Cronenworth, but I don't think anyone wants to take him.
I think the Padres should extend Jackson Merrill and trade everyone else. Did they extend Jackson Merrill already?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think
Keep
that's one of the
Jackson.
first things they did.
Trade everyone not named Jackson Merrill.
Like last year, before he even got. I feel like he didn't even play a game, and they signed him. No, they gave him 9-year, 135
Okay.
through the
Yeah.
2034 season. Yeah, so they did that.
At this
Great
point,
contract.
trade Nick Pivetta, trade Joe Musgrove. Michael King's already gone. I don't know why he's here. Or no, he re-signed with the
He's
Padres.
resigned.
Trade
3 years,
Michael King.
$25 million per.
You just signed him. Trade him. Buy. Starting rotation: Randy Vasquez, J.P. Sears, Matt Waldron. Trade you Darvish.
You can't.
Do it anyway.
You can't. It would be just cutting the whole contract.
The thing is, I don't know what to do with the Padres. The Padres should be so good. The Padres should be so good, and right now, because of their ownership situation, they're not.
They can't figure out what to do.
They need to go get a first baseman. They need to go get
Jake Cronenworth,
a shortstop that isn't Xander Bogaerts. But
Xander Bogaerts should honestly be their like first baseman or DH.
But he's not a good enough hitter to be a DH or a first baseman.
Well, they gave
he's
him
not
like
a good
10
enough
years, so
defender to be a shortstop, and he's there. I think he has 9 years left on this contract. It was an 11-year deal.
It's so bad.
They have Manny Machado signed for
another
I think 6 years through age 40. I think. Their outfield is good. Like they have Ramon Laureano, Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis.
Yeah.
Gavin Sheets is a fine DH. Maybe this Padres team can do something. I don't know. This Padres team makes my head hurt. And I'm done talking about them.
Okay. They also signed, as you just heard, they brought back Michael King on a 3-year, $75 million contract.
Was that before, or was that since our last episode?
Okay. Yeah, we haven't talked about it.
Michael King is back.
3 years, $75 million. 25
great.
AAV.
Yeah, he's a really good pitcher. I guess the Padres.
I don't know. They're better than the Mets.
Let's talk about the last signing that we have to talk about before we get into these trades. And it's an odd one. Munetaka Murakami was projected. He was projected to get 6 for 150-ish in the free agent market. Instead, he signed a 2-year deal for $34 million with the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, it makes no sense.
Now, there were reports.
Press conference, and it made me laugh hysterically.
Well, I didn't see it. What happened?
Oh, it's funny. You should go watch it.
Okay.
It's not even a press conference. It's like him doing his introductory thing with him putting on the uniform, and they told him to say stuff. And oh my gosh, I enjoyed it. It's on their social media.
Okay, I'll have to watch that later. Yeah, there were reports a couple hours before he signed, I think, that the Rockies were going to sign him or were making an offer for him. If you're going to sign with the White Sox, my thought process on this is: are you watching the Murakami?
No, I just
Oh,
know your thought process, and I can tell everyone your thought process because you already
yeah,
complained to me about it.
I have. It's if you're gonna sign with the White Sox, you might as well sign with the Rockies for whatever they're willing to offer you. Be the best hitter in baseball and go get that 6 for 150. And I don't care if you suck after that or not. You got your contract. Now, if you suck for the White Sox, and you're gonna just suck.
And they're not willing to trade people for less than what they think they're worth. Ask Luis Robert Jr. about that.
I think he's gonna be a White Sox on opening day.
He's gonna be a Red. I called it. I gifted them it for Christmas, and now there's rumors it might be happening.
Okay, look, going back to the White Sox though, I saw their roster. Why did on my last look, why did their lineup not look awful?
The Reds or the White Sox?
The White Sox.
Because
Kyle Teal at
they're starting to
catcher.
get better.
First base is an interesting situation. Currently has Lennon Sosa, Miguel Vargas, Curtis
Yeah.
Mead at first base.
Yeah.
Chase Miedroth at second. He was a disaster defensively, at least last year. I honestly didn't pay too much attention to him, but he's a young guy with a lot of potential. Miguel Vargas at third base. Colson Montgomery at shortstop. Outfield, Andrew Benintendi, Luis Robert, Brooks Baldwin. I guess they're saying Edgar Cuero is going to be their DH.
Your
Edgar.
backup young catcher is going to be your DH.
Well, they have Kyle Teal, Corey Lee, and Edgar Cuero currently on their big league roster.
They should trade one of those guys and get something. I would trade Edward Cuero.
They have holes. Don't get me wrong. Brooks Baldwin is currently in right field, by the way. They have holes, but it's honestly not as bad as I thought it was. Their pitching staff is atrocious. I want you to tell me, outside of Anthony Kay, if you've heard of any of these people before. I've heard of a few of them. I don't know if you have or not.
Okay.
Davis Martin.
Nope.
Sean Burke.
Yes.
Shane Smith, who I think was an all-star
Yes.
last year because
Was an
the
all-star
White
last
Sox
year.
need to have an all-star.
Yeah.
Drew Thorpe.
Yes. He's
Kai
young.
Bush.
Yes, I know Kai Bush.
And their bullpen, Jordan Leisure.
No.
Brandon Eisert.
No.
Mike Vassell.
Nope.
Grant Taylor.
Nope.
Prelander Baroa.
Nope.
Winkleman Gonzalez.
Winkleman?
Wickelman. Wikelman. I've heard of him, but I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I've never heard of anyone with the name Wickleman.
Jonathan Cannon, Tyler Gilbert, Fraser Ellard.
Yeah, that's a big no out of their entire bullpen for me.
And
starting pitchers though, I know most of them.
Yeah, you're gonna know that. Drew Thorpe, Kai Bush were both former top prospects. Shane Smith was allegedly an all-star.
He was an all-star.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying he had a 4.5 ERA. He was just the White Sox had to have an all-star. Sean Burke and Davis Martin had been there for a while, and they just signed Anthony Kay. And all of that is not including Murakami, which is the whole reason why we're talking about the White Sox. He's going to play first base. It's not bad. The lineup, at least, isn't bad. The bullpen
is very bad.
The bullpen's atrocious. Their pitching rotation's atrocious. Anthony Kay might start opening day for them.
No.
Shane Smith.
Yep.
With his 4.5 ERA. What did Shane Smith end with?
It was like a 4.3 or something. It wasn't great.
We've already talked about the White Sox too long. Shane Smith had a 3.81 ERA. Okay.
Okay, he got under 4.
145 strikeouts and 146 innings.
Hey, that's a K per 9. We'll take it.
Oh, how the mighty fall with Munataki,
Murataki,
Munataka Murakami.
Murakami.
Um, I'd be pissed if I were him. Got a fifth of what you were supposed to get.
Well, look at the market out there. No one has signed, like we talked about at the beginning. This screwed you.
And the reason why he had to just settle for this deal is because his
Window
dead
closed.
his window was going to close a few hours after he signed.
Yeah.
So he had to do it now or he wasn't going to get another shot. So hopefully he is a great hitter for the White Sox. Gets traded somewhere, gets a nice contract in 2 years, or he's like F this and he goes back to Japan.
Could. I'll hit 56 bombs over there and make more money.
All right, so we got some trades to talk about before we head out of here.
Yay! I like trades.
And we talked about the Pirates. They were going to do something with their offense. That something ended up being Brandon Lau, which I'll take that.
Second base, but he can hit.
I don't care. I'll take that. I'll take the Pirates doing anything. They ended up getting Brandon Lau, Jake Mangum, who is a second-year outfielder that feels like a 10-year vet, mainly because I think he's almost 30 years old already. And Mason Montgomery, who's a left-handed reliever. Got all those guys from the Rays. Meanwhile, the Astros are acquiring Mike Burrows, who is a right-handed reliever from the Pirates. And the Rays are receiving outfielder Jacob Melton and right-handed pitcher Anderson Brito, who Jacob Melton was the Astros' number 2 prospect. He is now the Rays' number 4 prospect. And Anderson Brito was the Astros' number 3 prospect, now the Rays' number 6 prospect. Before we get into the good things about this, the biggest thing that confuses me, how on God's green earth does bringing in Mike Burrows lead to you trading away Jacob Melton and Anderson Brito, your number 2 and number 3 prospect? Astros, what are we doing?
I was trying to because this trade was very complicated when I saw it, because it didn't have who people were coming from on some of these lower end prospects, and I'm like, who is going where and who is giving up what? So I took the final one and I go, okay, what is each team giving up? And I saw what the Astros were giving up, and I said, what the heck is happening here? Why were you a part of this?
He's a 26-year-old reliever with a 4 ERA.
And you gave up Jacob Melton and more, but Jacob Melton.
You gave up your number 2 and number 3 prospect for a reliever that's 26 years old with a 4 ERA.
We're going to say it again. Who's got dirt on you?
Sorry, he's a starter.
He's a starter.
The article that I heard was wrong. That is okay. Fine. I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it because I thought he was a reliever. That's my bad. But he's also, why
26-year-old starter who had a 4 ERA with Pittsburgh?
Yeah, why does that equal Jacob Melton and Anderson Brito?
I'm going to tell you why this happened. I don't like it, and I think it's stupid. They're not getting Framber back, and they needed someone to go into that rotation. That's what's happening. Mike Burrows is going into that rotation.
Yeah, and
it's stupid. It's 100% stupid, and I 100% agree with you. I'm just telling you what their thought process is, and it's a dumb one. And if you would have called other GMs and said, hey, we'll give you Brito and Melton, what's the best starter that you can give us that's MLB ready? You would have done better than this.
Yeah, and we're going to get to a big reason for that too in a little bit, because I want to kind of transition in these 2 Rays trades. But first I want to talk about the Pirates. Thank you. Thank you for finally doing something. I hope they're not done. Brandon Lau not too long ago was a 40 homer hitter for the Rays. Um, do I think he's necessarily going to do that moving forward? Probably not. He's pretty rough at second base too.
He's bad.
But last year he hit 31 home runs, had a 256, 307, 477 slash line, 116 OPS plus. Over his career, 247, 326, 481 slash line for an 807 OPS. So last year he just didn't hit for power like he normally does throughout his career. But
He'll play a
yeah,
lot of games in Great Americans, so that'll help.
yeah, he hit 39 home runs in 2021. 23, 24, 25 is 21, 21, 31 homers. And those two 21 homer seasons, he missed about 50 games. They got a legit middle of the order bat. I need them to do more.
It's the same thing that we said about the Reds. They need to get 2 or 3 bats. This is one.
Their depth chart right now is whatever they have going on at catcher.
Who is? Tell me about their infield.
So they've listed, again, this is according to MLB.com's depth charts. They have Spencer Horwitz at first, Nick York at second, Jared Triolo at third, and Nick Gonzalez at short. This is before.
Can we do anything at short and third for me, please? Listen, they've been linked to Donovan too, and I think they would be a great fit for Brendan Donovan.
I mean, I think so too, but I don't think they're necessarily going to.
You have the starting pitchers.
I'm concerned that they're not going to do anything else.
Infield talent. I don't think they will. I just think they need 2 more bats.
I think they need a third baseman. I think we both gave them Eugenio Suarez in our Christmas gift video.
Who's in their outfield?
They have Brian Reynolds, O'Neill Cruz, and Jack Sawinski. And Nick York is considered a fourth outfielder.
I can live with that. I would prefer a different right fielder. But if you could get 2 bats out of third, short, right field, I'm okay with this lineup because
they're gonna slot Lau in DH. At second.
DH. Leave Nick York there.
Nick York isn't really a second baseman either, though. He's played first, second, corner outfield, and he can also DH.
But
also,
it can't be worse than Brandon Lowe's defense at second.
It can. I don't know. I hope this isn't the finishing product for the Pirates, but
it will be.
I think this is a good first step. They also, again, added Jake Mangum, who I think is going to end up starting somewhere.
An outfielder?
Yeah, he might end up taking Jackson.
Right fielder. I like that better.
I say he might end up taking Jack Sawinski's spot.
That's fine with me. I can live with that. You got to give me at least one more bat, though. You need a third baseman.
At Brian Reynolds, O'Neill Cruz, and Jake Mangum with.
I can live with that outfield.
York and Lowe as second base DH, and Jack Sawinski's an option there.
Yeah, I need a third baseman.
Yeah. And then as for the Rays,
what a haul.
Yeah, and this is where I was going to go with the whole Mike Burrows thing, is because right now the price point for pitching is at an all-time high, and I want to talk about that because
listen, I'm trying to trade away Dustin May after we signed him. If we could get half of what they got, holy crap!
Yeah, and it leads into the next trade too, because after this trade specifically, we were like, can we trade Matthew Liberatore because he was a former top prospect?
He said those words.
Yeah, because Matthew Liberatore was a former top prospect, former first-round pick. Maybe he can get something out of him. Was it at one point in the top 100? So was Shane. Yeah, so was Shane Baz. And Matthew Liberatore has had, I believe, more big league success to this
Yeah.
point than Shane Baz has. Shane Baz, yeah, 4.87 ERA last year, career 4.25 ERA in just under 300 innings, about on the same level as Matthew Liberatore. He got traded to the Baltimore Orioles, and the return
Insane.
that he got for them, Slater DeBron, who was
First
Baltimore's
round
number
pick.
6 prospect, is now Tampa Bay's number 8. Catcher Caden Bodine, Baltimore's number 10, now Tampa Bay's number 13. Right-handed pitcher Michael Forret, who, for those of you that don't know, whenever a prospect gets traded, they get reevaluated and re-ranked how they should be in their new farm system. So while those guys went down because they're in a better farm system, Michael Forret went from Baltimore's number 11 up to Tampa Bay's number 7. Same with Austin Overn, who was Baltimore's number 30, moved up to Tampa Bay's 22, and they got a competitive balance pick in the 2026 draft.
So they'll have
Now,
somewhere between 31 to 40.
yeah, so they gave more quantity than quality, but they got 4 top 30 prospects, 3 of them in the top 11
Okay, but
for
also,
Shane Baz.
what's the catcher's first name? Bodine.
Uh, Caden,
Caden. Spell it.
Caden,
C-A-D-N.
Bodine.
Yeah. Okay. So, with all of that said, um, Slater DeBrun was their first round pick last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about a first round pick from 1 year ago. He's 18 years old or 19 years old. Caden Bodine was drafted 30th overall in the 2025 draft. No, he was first last year.
I think Slater DeBrun was first.
Was he the second?
2024. No, he was a competitive balance pick in 2025. Slater DeBrun was.
So these are both first round picks from last year's draft. So you're getting 2 first round picks from last year's draft. Then you're getting 2 more prospects, and you're getting another competitive balance first round pick in this next draft. That is a haul.
Yeah, Austin Overn was a 3rd round pick in 2024. And where's the other guy? What did I say his name was? Michael Forret, who is number 7. I was looking too low because he's really good. He's above Slater DeBron. Michael Forret, he was a 14th round pick, but he's 21 years old. He's pitched.
Prospect coming back.
He had a 1.58 ERA last year between high A and double A.
Yeah. He is a huge riser. So you got a huge riser, 21-year-old who pitched in double A last year, combined under about a 1.5 ERA. Then you get a 3rd round pick from 2 years ago, and you get 2 first round picks from this year, and you get another first round pick in this coming draft for Shane Baz, who, same thing with Dustin May. We haven't put it together. We got all the tools, no toolbox. We've also got some injury history here. But this is a guy who really hasn't proven anything at the big league level, and you just gave up a haul for him. Like, that kind of return is one that you look at whenever you see a superstar get traded, right? Like, that's the kind of thing whenever, like, Juan Soto got traded, that's what you're kind of looking at, is a package that looks something like that. Maybe one guy that's like a bona fide top 30 guy, but those aren't like small pieces.
Yeah, so Shane Baz's, the majority of his big league career, because he had 40 innings between 2021 and 2022 and then didn't pitch in 2023. 2024, he had a really good season. He had a 2.2 WAR, 3.06 ERA. He had a 131 ERA plus, but it was only in 80 innings. 79 in the third. And then last year, which was his first full season in the big leagues at 26 years old, 166 in the third innings. He was 10-12 with a 4.87 ERA and an 84 OPS plus. He's a career 95 OPS plus and a career 4.25 ERA.
So under league average.
Yeah, and he's going into his age 27 season. He is ARB eligible. He's ARB eligible for the first time this year.
Okay.
So he has 3 years of control left. Age 27, 28, 29. Also, he has the worst mustache I've ever seen in my life.
Heim Bloom. Hello. Can you please trade Matthew Liberatore for a package that looks like that, please? Yep. Thank you.
It's crazy.
It's just insane to me.
And the Rays, I said the Rays have a better farm system than the Orioles. That might be wrong. But in these 2 trades, the Rays got their 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 13th, 22nd. Is that it? Maybe one more. I don't know.
4 in their top 10, 1 in their top 20, 1 in their top 30. They got 6 of their top 30.
Yeah, and reports are that they're gonna ruin that by trading for Ketel Marte or Brendan Donovan.
Probably. I'm good with that. And you got all of that in all seriousness for Shane Baz, who again hasn't proven anything or done anything, and he's going to be ARB eligible, and we know how Tampa Bay feels about ARB eligible guys. You trade them, and Brandon Lau.
Also, how the Orioles feel about ARB eligible guys for the most part.
But you gave up Brandon Lau and Shane Baz, and you got all of that. I'm early GM of the year voting. I'm giving it to Tampa's GM.
Yeah, what is his name? Rays GM, Brandon Gomes. Oh, he used to do stuff with the Dodgers.
That's probably why he's good.
Yeah. It was before what they are now. I think they swapped Andrew Friedman and Brandon Gomes at one point. But yeah, good for the Rays with this haul that they got. Hopefully they don't lose 100 games this year. Be okay with being the worst team in the best division in baseball.
You're not winning in that division.
They're not winning anything. I think there's 4 legit stacked teams in the AL East.
It's going to be a bloodbath. I can't wait.
Also, the Orioles need more. I hope Shane Baz, them thinking, oh, we gave up our whole farm system for Shane Baz.
No, they're going to sign Framber.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Maybe the Mets decide to do that.
The Mets need to, I don't know, fix everything.
Let's talk about another trade that's close to our hearts. A trade that happened last night.
Yeah.
A trade that I was very sad about because Wilson Contreras quickly turned into one of my favorite players.
Love how he plays.
I hated him when he was with the Cubs, but with how much the Cardinals screwed with him in his first year, saying you're a catcher, no, you're a DH, no, you're a corner outfielder, no, you're going to go back to catcher, but we kind of don't like you there, so you're going to play first base now. It was infuriating to me, and Wilson just took it on the chin to the point to where he was very unwilling going into this offseason to waive his no trade clause.
Didn't want to.
Wilson wanted to be in St. Louis, and it sucks to see him go.
It does.
But he's going to a team that needs a first baseman that is going to compete this year. And he has a really good shot at having a bounce back with, and that's the Boston Red Sox.
Is it a bounce back? He was like WRC plus was like 125 to 135. Like there's no bounce back. It's just staying healthy and not getting hit in the hand like 72 times.
Yeah, he's gonna be really good with that monster out in left.
He's gonna rake.
Yeah, he's going to the Boston Red Sox. In return, the Cardinals got Hunter Dobbins, who has pitched about 60 innings last year as a rookie, was about a league average pitcher, and then in July he tore his ACL.
On a play at first base.
Yeah, on a play at first base. They're also getting Yoiker Fajardo, and I might be butchering his name, but that is what I understand his name was pronounced as. He is a very high riser that we're going to talk about a little bit after we talk about Wilson. And we also got another pitcher who's kind of a lottery pick guy, Blake Ida. Again, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who's unranked.
Yeah, we'll talk about the prospects later. We'll stick with Willie.
Yeah, so we got to talk about the Red Sox because the Red Sox needed a first baseman. They went out and got their guy. We thought it might have been Pete Alonso. Didn't know where it was going to go. But the two places that you heard once Wilson Contreras was open to waiving his no trade clause, the two places that you heard were really interested were the Mets and the Red Sox. Ends up going to the Red Sox, and
I like it better.
I do too, but they filled one hole, but it leads to a lot more questions. Because now I feel like you kind of have to trade Tristan Casas. I'm shocked.
I hear Chaim Bloom likes him a lot.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I'm shocked that Tristan Casas isn't coming back in that trade.
It sounds like Chaim has tried, and the Red Sox don't necessarily want to trade him.
Well, what are you doing then? He's going to be your DH then if you don't want to trade him. You can't have him on the bench. He is going to be your DH if you don't trade him, which means you have to trade Masataka Yoshida. And you're not going to get anything for him.
No, you cut him or stick his butt on the bench and let him be a bench bat. Like literally that's all he's going to be there for.
A $15 million a year bench bat?
Or you eat it and hope someone takes him. I don't see it happening though because he was bad. And he can't play in the outfield.
Yeah, and they have Roman Anthony. They have
Duran's getting traded.
Ceddanne Rafaela. Well, not including
Ceddanne Rafaela is going to be their center fielder. Roman Anthony will be out there, and Willie Abreu will be out there.
Yeah.
That will be their starting outfield.
But then again, you're leaving Masataka Yoshida on the bench. You're leaving. He just costs too much. You have to try and trade him and get some sort of relief. You're not going to get anything in return, but you got to get some sort of relief for him.
Okay.
But you claimed you have a hole at first base. You filled it with Wilson Contreras.
You have a hole at third base.
Yeah, but it's so
where Brendan Donovan comes in. I keep saying that sarcastically with some of these, but there are reports that they have had serious conversations about Brendan Donovan too.
Yeah, it's because Chaim Bloom doesn't realize he can trade with someone besides the Red Sox.
No, it's because he wants something in Seattle and they're not willing to give it to him yet.
I don't know. The whole infield kind of weirds me out right now in Boston because you're going to have Christian Campbell, I believe, playing second base.
Yeah.
They have Romy Gonzalez listed on there. I'm on Fangraphs now instead of MLB's because they're
got mad at them.
Yeah, they're off. They're weird. You have Romy Gonzalez at second. You have Trevor Story at short, who I believe was pretty good last year.
Yeah, he played well last year.
But still not good enough for what you're paying him. And then Marcelo Meyer at third, who's super unproven. Like Wilson Contreras is kind of the strong spot now in this Red Sox infield.
Yeah. I mean, those young guys were very, very highly ranked prospects. And I think with as much money as they're paying to some of those guys, I think they're willing to take that bet with some of those young guys. I would. Story's going to stay at short. Campbell's going to take second. Is Marcelo Meyer ready? I don't know. I think they're
Well,
going to give him every chance.
they're also still talking with Alex Bregman. We said they're also still talking with the Cardinals for Brendan Donovan. They're also still talking with the Diamondbacks for Ketel Marte.
Yeah.
And it seems very likely that Alex Bregman is going to end up back in Boston.
I don't think he is.
Well, he has no market, and the reports are that the Red Sox are
Diamondbacks
aggressively trying to get him.
The Diamondbacks are trying to get him. He has summer home in Arizona. He really likes Arizona. With the market being the way it is, like, I think there's a very real chance he ends up in Arizona.
I don't know how that makes sense for the Diamondbacks if you don't trade Ketel Marte. If you're
going to trade Ketel Marte,
yeah, but don't. Like, why are you trading Ketel Marte to get Alex Bregman?
Ketel Marte wasn't originally going to be traded by them until people started asking and offers started getting insane. He's the best second baseman in baseball, and he's on a great contract.
I still think there's a very real chance that Bregman does. I think there's a chance that he ends up in Arizona, but I still think there's still a very real chance that he's going to end up.
It sounds like Boston has offered him basically the contract that he was going to finish out if he didn't opt out. So like 2 by 80 or whatever it was. But they don't want to go like 4 or 5 years with him. And that's the holdup, is that he's like, I want a big contract. And they're like, we're not giving you that.
Are the Diamondbacks going to give him that?
I don't know.
Meanwhile, something I do like about this move is that the Red Sox were very lefty heavy, and now they added Wilson Contreras in there. Kind of, I guess they weren't really. They were, because Romy Gonzalez. They have Roman Anthony in here, Jarren Duran or Tristan Casas in here, lefty. Wilyer Brady, lefty. Marcelo Meyer, lefty. Christian Campbell is a switch hitter. And then you have, I believe he's a switch hitter, right? He's not listed on here for some reason.
Who?
Christian Campbell. And then you have Cedin Rafaela, Carlos Narvaez, Trevor Story, Wilson Contreras from the right side. So it balances that lineup out a lot, if that is what your lineup ends up looking like.
Christian Campbell's a righty.
Is he? Okay. So 5 righties, 4 lefties then. I thought one of them was a switch hitter.
Well, you can put here's the good thing. Wilson Contreras, great hitter, period. Can he hit second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth? Yes. He doesn't have to hit in one specific spot. Wherever you put him, he's going to be a good hitter for you. Do you need him to protect somebody? Do you need him to be behind somebody or in front of somebody? He can do all of that. It doesn't matter to him. I love Wilson Contreras. This is a guy who plays with his heart on his sleeve. He is one of those guys who brings attitude. He brings anger. He plays with heart, and he plays with passion. I love everything about Wilson Contreras when it comes to this. You always know what you're going to get out of him. It is 100% all the time. Sometimes I wish he would move his hands out of the way so he didn't break his hands or fingers so that he would be in the lineup more. But this is a guy, like you said, everything that was asked of him in St. Louis, even when he was treated like absolute dog crap, said nothing about it, kept his head down, and did whatever the team asked him to do. That's the kind of person he is, and he's a great hitter on top of that. His first full season at first base, he looked good there. He is a good fielder at first base, and he's only been there for 1 full year. He's only going to get better. I love Wilson Contreras. Red Sox fans, you are going to love Wilson Contreras.
Yeah, and then looking at the Red Sox pitching, I still think they need help in their bullpen because they have Garrett Whitlock and Aroldis Chapman and not a whole lot else.
Well, they have 17 starters that they could trade if they would like to.
Yeah, and that's where I was getting to, is their rotation is starting to look a lot better. They have Garrett Crochet. They traded for Sonny Gray. They traded for Johan Oviedo. They have Brian Bayo there. They have Cutter Crawford. They have Patrick Sandoval. And so they had
Tanner Houck. They have a Connerly early. They have Peyton Tolley. Like the list goes on and on.
And so they've been able to afford to trade some of these guys that aren't necessarily getting the opportunities that they would probably should be getting in Boston. And that's where Richard Fitz came in, and that is where Hunter Dobbins comes in. Hunter Dobbins, I don't think he's not capable of being a 1 or 2, but I do think Hunter Dobbins is capable of being a quality big league pitcher. He's only 26 years old. He's probably not going to be ready for opening day, but if he's ready in May at some point, that gives him plenty of time to earn his roster spot. And like I said, the Cardinals have a lot of really young pitchers that are all kind of on the same level, and someone is going to have to separate themselves. Will that be Hunter Dobbins? I don't know, but Hunter Dobbins is going to get an opportunity here. And meanwhile, we also got 2 pitching prospects for him. By the way, you're going to say something?
And I think Hunter Dobbins is fine. Like he fits in with Dick Fitz. He fits in with, I mean, if you want to put Palante in there still, he fits in with the Kyle Leahy of moving him from the bullpen there. Like he fits in with these guys that are like 4 to 8, like in your rotation. Maybe one of them hits and they get you your number 3. Great. But you have enough guys that can eat innings now to replace those horrific options we just kept running back out there last year. But I don't think Hunter Dobbins, as much as people say he's the headliner, I don't think Hunter Dobbins is the headliner in this trade. National media will say it. Even Red Sox fans will say it because he's MLB ready. That does not make him the headliner of the package. The headliner of this package is Yoiker Fajardo. I'm going to try and get his name right. Yoiker Fajardo.
And again, that might be wrong, but that's what we've been hearing.
It's as close as I can get to it. But this is a guy who's further away, and same thing with the first trade with the Sonny Gray trade. They might say Dick Fitz is the headliner because he's MLB ready. He's not. The headliner of that was Brandon Clark. This is the same thing here. This is Chaim Bloom taking a shot at a guy who's 18, 19 years old, who is further away because he knows the Cardinals aren't competing in the next 2-3 years. And that when their time is ready, these guys will be a lot closer. Or we talked about how the Cardinals have a lot of 23, 24, 25-year-olds. This can be that next crop to replace them as it comes up. So I think that is the real headliner. And I've seen some people who said Blake Ada has some intriguing stuff, whether he sticks as starter or if he's in the bullpen, that he has some intriguing pitches there, that it's not just a random throw in.
Yeah, it's been tough to find a lot of anything on Blake Ida or Blake Aida or however you pronounce it.
He's not in the trade value website, so that tells me a lot about him.
It's AITA, so I don't.
I think it's
pronounce that however you want. Ada. But yeah, from what I gathered from him, he's a soft throwing righty that relies a lot on his breaking stuff, which, I mean, there's a way for that to be a quality big league pitcher. But the big thing with Fajardo here is he has quickly proven to be a lot better than a lot of the talent evaluators thought he was going to be coming up. He was originally signed by the White Sox out of, where is he from? Out of wherever he's from, out of Venezuela. And he was an unranked guy. he was traded to the Red Sox for Cam Boozer, who was a older reliever who got DFA'd by the Red Sox and just picked up by the White Sox. So he went back in that deal. And as I said during the Rays trade, pitchers get reevaluated, or prospects get reevaluated once they get traded. And Yoiker Fajardo was one of those guys. He was the 23rd ranked prospect for the Red Sox before he got traded. He is currently the 9th ranked prospect in the Cardinals farm system. And these are not worlds apart in terms of the talent in this farm system. And this is why a lot of Cardinals fans believe in Chaim Bloom. A lot of Red Sox fans have given Chaim Bloom a lot of crap for what he's done in Boston. But Chaim Bloom is a guy that needs time because he goes to places to cut the payroll, to build the farm system up, because him and his teams that he brings in knows talent. And they brought in for Wilson Contreras, and by the way, we're paying $8 million of the remaining $41 million of Wilson Contreras' salary. So we're not eating a whole lot of money. And you're getting back and you're getting back a 19-year-old pitcher who has a very live arm, mid to high 90s fastball. It's got some good breaking pitches, capable of striking guys out. Last year between what did he pitch? Where did he pitch last year? Last year between rookie ball and high A. 2.25 ERA with 83 strikeouts and 72 innings. I'd like that to get higher, but you're also looking at, again, a 19-year-old who is currently 6'3" and 181 pounds. At least that's what he's listed at. So he has a chance to add more to his frame, add more velocity. He's going to develop, especially with, again, the team that Chaim Bloom brought in. I think you hit the nail on the head with the fact that Chaim Bloom is kind of the best of both worlds, where he's bringing in high floor talent that is already big league ready, like Richard Fitz and Hunter Dobbins, but he's also bringing in prospects that have really high ceilings, and maybe they have low floors, but that's not something that we're used to with John Mozeliak.
Yeah. I can't see how many games it was. I want to say like the final 9 games while he was in high A. He finished with like a .44 ERA and increased his strikeout numbers to over 1 per inning. So this is a guy that
was his rookie ball numbers.
Yeah. So you're getting a guy who's improving as we go. And again, he's only 19. And his frame leaves a lot of room to be filled out. Because if you're 6'3", 185, you've easily got 20 more pounds of muscle you can put on you. So I like this trade. It sucks because I like Wilson Contreras a lot. I like what he brings to the table and his passion that he plays with. But this is a guy that in 2 years you're not competing. Send him somewhere where they can compete. And I'm going to enjoy watching him play in Boston.
Yeah. Last year, rookie ball, 6 games, 4 starts, 20 2/3 innings, 0.44 ERA, 24 strikeouts to 7 walks. Last year in A ball, 51 1/3 innings and 13 starts, 59 strikeouts and a 2.98 ERA. He was
at 19.
18. He was 18 years old last year, so he's gonna be 19 this year.
Yeah, you'll take that. He's one of those few guys that were pitching in high A as an 18-year-old.
Yeah,
and put up good numbers doing it.
He's a quick riser, and he's going to continue to do that. We're obviously not going to see him in the big leagues for a while, but we might see him in the big leagues come when he's 21, 22 years old in 3 years.
Yeah.
Last trade to talk about was one that happened today. Mets.
Oh yeah.
Trade Jeff McNeil.
And
they also traded $5.75 million of the $15.75 million owed to Jeff McNeil, and they get back a 17-year-old. They trade him to the A's, get back a 17-year-old pitcher who he's not ranked, and I'm going to be honest, evaluating a 17-year-old is so tough.
Hard to do.
He's a guy that got $400,000 in the international signing pool bonus money from the A's. So he is a guy that a lot of talent evaluators like. But again, you're talking about a 17-year-old who is getting his first taste of professional baseball. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
We more need to talk about the Mets side of things, because Jeff McNeil, former batting champion, has kind of been on the downturn over the past few years. But this year, he was actually a pretty good player. He was a league average player, both as a hitter and as a fielder. And he's, about to be 34, I believe. So you can't really rely. Yeah, he's going to be 34. So you can't really rely on him continuing to do that. But he's also, I believe, is in the last year of his contract. So
Yeah, I like this for the A's for one reason. They're a very, very, very young team, especially on that infield. So this gives them a little bit of veteran leadership on that team that is very young everywhere. So I do like that, but that's about all I like about it. It's just, it wasn't going to do anything for the Mets. You traded for Marcus Semien. You signed Jorge Polanco, two second basemen that are apparently one's playing first. I don't know. They had to get rid of him, and it didn't seem like anyone was going to take his full contract. So it was a deal that needed to get done. I'm just kind of meh about it.
Yeah, Jeff McNeil had a 111 OPS plus last year, so 11% above league average. 2 WAR, which is considered exactly a league average player. Can play first, second, corner outfield. And I think the main reason why I want to hit on this a little bit more is because this was a trade that the Mets decided to make because of their locker room. There are a lot of reports coming out that Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil had a rocky relationship. And
does Francisco Lindor like anyone?
Well, that's what I was getting to. Jeff McNeil, and there's obviously more reasons why these guys got traded, but a big driving force in Jeff McNeil getting traded is because he had issues with Francisco Lindor. A big driving factor in why Brandon Nimmo got traded was because he had issues with Francisco Lindor. Currently, there are reports that Juan Soto has issues with Francisco Lindor. At what point are we going to say there is a common factor in these clubhouse issues?
I mean, I'm going to say it right now because I don't care how good you are. If you're a problem in the clubhouse and no one wants to stick around, this is what it comes down to. Would you rather keep Francisco Lindor or would you rather keep Juan Soto? And I think that's an easy answer.
You can't trade Juan Soto.
I mean, you could.
No one's going to take on an $800 million contract with 14 years left on it, even for a 27-year-old. Like a 27-year-old superstar who just came in third in the MVP voting.
I don't know. I think you might be able to trade it. But either way, if they had a choice, they want the young guy who almost won the MVP.
Almost went 40-40. He had 38 homers, 37 steals.
Francisco Lindor starting to get older. He's still on a big contract. He plays a premium position at shortstop where Juan Soto should probably be the DH because his defense is not good. And like you said, that contract, it's more movable. Or Lindor's is. If there's a common denominator and 4 or 5 players have issues with the same person, you have to move them. One player can destroy an entire locker room, and it seems like it kind of already has.
Yeah, and I think that might have a lot to do with why the Mets collapsed so badly last year. Like, again, if your leader of the team, Francisco Lindor is the leader of this Mets clubhouse. If the leader of your team is consistently having problems with Brandon Nimmo, who is another leader of this team, Jeff McNeil, who is another leader of this team, these are the two longest tenured Mets on this roster in 2025, and Juan Soto, who you hope is going to end up being a leader of your team, is the highest paid player in all of baseball, and is going to be on this team for the next 14 years. I don't even think Francisco Lindor's contract is more tradable because he's older. I believe he's 31 or something along those lines.
I heard
he's still a great hitter. He's still a great defender, but at what point he's 32?
Yeah, I heard rumors, and this would make sense for me because, again, who's in charge here? Of going to the Padres because he's really good friends with Tatis.
Yeah, I mean they've
got contracts that they can swap.
I mean, are you going to trade him for Xander Bogaerts?
No, because Xander Bogaerts' contract is the worst in baseball, outside of Rendon.
The idea behind that was that the return was going to involve Fernando Tatis Jr. And he's not. They're not going to trade him.
No.
But I think
Machado.
I think what is going to end up happening, Machado, I think he's a 10-5 player.
No, yeah.
So he has a built-in. He probably has a no trade clause already, but if he doesn't, he has a built-in.
Can you get rid of Cronenworth and then something else?
I don't think the Padres are a likely option, and what I think the most likely option is they're going to run it back one more time, and if Lindor is still an issue, we're going to talk about this next year. But
probably,
again,
I don't think he's getting moved.
Again, if you're having issues, again, reportedly, we're not part of the Mets locker room. We don't know this, but this is from all the reports coming out that they've all had issues with Francisco Lindor, all for very unique reasons. Which all those reasons, again, have been reported on. It opens up a whole new can of worms with some of them, so we're not going to deal with that, but yeah, not good for the Mets. I hope they figure this out because this should be a team that is good.
Yeah, they're not gonna be.
They're not, but I want to see the Mets succeed.
I don't.
Okay. Well, on that note, is there anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so. I'm just waiting to see where some of these starting pitchers go, where these big name players, where's Bregman, where's Bo, where's Tucker going, and then Ketel Marte and Brendan Donovan. I need something to happen and not drag out into February and March.
It always does. On that note, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for joining us. 2025 is almost over. There's going to be a lot more stuff to come in 2026.
Our next baseball episode might be coming out the day before New Year's Eve or New Year's Eve, one of the two.
Yeah. Obviously, with the holidays, we've been very fluid with our schedule. We're going to continue to do that until we get some stuff figured out. But as we've teased before, fun stuff coming. We're going to keep having fun episodes, hopefully fun for you guys because it's still definitely fun for us. Maybe if you guys watched all the way through our last episode, you guys know we have our sponsor with W Energy. Hopefully with our new setup, we can get our little promo at the beginning going soon. I don't know if it's going to be this I don't think it's going to be this episode, but it's awesome that we've been able to take that step forward. So if you guys want to support us, want to support them, be sure to use the code athletes for 10% off. I've been trying their products over the last few days. They taste amazing, and they really did help with my energy throughout a very long day today. So
and mine is currently on the way.
Yeah. It works. It helps out. And if you guys want to help support us, that's a great way to do it. So thank you guys for watching. We are excited to continue on this journey in 2026. But we still have more fun stuff to come prior to that. So we will see you guys next time.
See you.